Hi, welcome to another Taylor Studio Live. This is Between Two Fish at Taylor Studios, and we're interviewing Steve.
Hi.
Hi. These were laying around, so we thought we'd hang on to them, pet our fish. So anyway, this is Steve. Hey Steve, would you mind giving some of your background and where you came from, your education, and your path to Taylor Studios?
Yes, it's not a traditional one, but it's one that you just kind of trust the process and not really worry about the path. Just what your where your destination is, where you're wanting to get. I started out. I have a marketing degree from Illinois State, which has nothing to do with woodworking. Did corporate America, and then stumbled upon my love for woodworking, and so I had an interval where I was a stay-at-home dad. I was able to hone my skills in woodworking, and then just knew that it was my love, and I wanted to pursue that when I got back out. So not something I would recommend to the youth, to get a marketing degree and then go woodworking, but that's where I am, and I'm very happy in what I do and where I'm at. And life is funny sometimes.
It is, but I think it's okay to have that diversified background. And so I guess we didn't say he is a woodworker here at Taylor Studios.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not working in marketing except for today, in Between Two Fish.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's a really interesting path, I think. So.
Yeah, it's I pulled up an email, a cover letter. I applied to Taylor Studios as a project manager back when I was still wearing a tie and whatnot, and that's kind of where the story is. If you think you're supposed to go this way, it may not be what the end result is. But
yeah, but you found your passion at home in the wood shop and honed that skill, and so you were developing skills.
Yes, I was doing construction, and then I believe I was like 15 feet high on a little ladder stretched across with snow coming down. I'm prying screws off of a 20-foot high barn, and I'm like, I gotta go indoors. I gotta get indoors. And it was it was a blizzard, and it's like I like working with my hands, but maybe in a controlled
environment.
Yeah.
So there's a plus at Taylor Studios here in fabrication. We have both heat and air.
That's right.
And indoor plumbing.
Indoor plumbing,
which is a big plus to come work here. So if you were to give advice to people, maybe that have a different path, what would you tell them about coming to Taylor Studios? Because it sounds like you were persistent too. You applied more than once.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Just keep in mind that what you see in the pictures and our final thing is not what you're going to be looking at on a daily basis. So if you have that expectation, But for me, it's exciting just to see how it goes. It leads up all the way till it goes out the door, and just come to work. Get ready, be ready to work, because it's pretty, it's exciting.
But it's hard work too.
It's hard work.
I mean, and the pretty part is sometimes I think it's that last 10% that's the big wow. And sometimes maybe what the audience doesn't see is sort of the grueling work that goes into the first 90% of it, and often that doesn't look pretty until you get to the 10%. So even sometimes when clients come to visit, you don't want necessarily art direction at 50% because sort of the wow happens at the last 10% of the job and during the install.
And a lot of the wow doesn't happen around us because we're passing it off to get painted, get finished coats and whatnot. So sometimes
it takes a team, though, right?
Yeah, it does.
So you need all of those trades to produce that, right?
It's really cool when you have a big project and you have the different departments coming together. You haven't seen each other in a few weeks, and then all of a sudden you just have these pieces come to the community areas, and it's like, all right, now we know this is
wow.
Yeah.
Well, what's your favorite project so far at Taylor Studios?
Hands down, the one we just got back from Point Vicente. There was a It's in California, Rancho Palos Verdes, California, southwest of LA, and I don't think I'll ever experience anything like it. I hope I do, but you're running a saw, and then you walk out a door, walk 10 feet, and there are people with binoculars watching the blue and gray whales migrate north. That's, on a landlocked state like, Illinois, it's like, wow. It is a serene sort of, awesome
good
nature
work
experience.
location, right?
Good work location.
Yeah.
That's where you step out to, just take a break or whatever, and there's whales.
Yeah.
They have dry erase boards where they keep tallies of how many whales were migrating, and it was in the 40s one day. It was just, it was unbelievable.
It's
so,
just a beautiful place.
Yes, the exhibit was about whaling, kind of a somber take on, just the whaling, why we did it, and
so we lit our lights at one point.
Yeah, it was a necessity, and so it was explaining why we did that. So cool. As a society, why we did that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good story to tell.
Yeah.
So what's the most interesting thing that's happened to you while at Taylor Studios? How long have you been at Taylor Studios?
I've been here for a little over a year.
Okay.
I would say interesting, nerve-wracking, dicey. We had something called a Tree of Life. It was a humongous chandelier located in an alcove, which was all glass, and there was no supporting structure underneath it. We had like 6 guys, 2 scissor lifts. If any of us messed up, that thing was going through the glass and outside. It's just
scary.
It was such a small footprint where it needed to go, and it was
intricate. Yeah,
it was a symphony of scissor lifts and male brawn. We just had to, and if we would have dropped it, it would have been bad news. But, it's just one of those things. It's not a normal. It's you explain to somebody what you're doing at that current moment, they're like, that's crazy.
But it's intricate teamwork. Engineering, planning.
Right.
And a little let's hope this works.
Little blood, sweat, and tears. And fearlessness.
Yeah, but that's sort of interesting from Taylor Studios' standpoint. The things that we have to do aren't like your everyday job. Like we had to fit a right whale through double doors once, and we figured out how to do it, and then hang it and put it back together once it was inside, and the planets at Adler Planetarium. I mean, there's just such unique things, and once you walk away and see that, where you're like, wow, we did it.
Yes.
Did you feel that way?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I kind of take 10 minutes at the end of each project and reflect. Yeah. Fist pump a little bit. Proud of ourselves, Yeah.
Well, what are you working on now?
I'm working on, it's called an oak hickory diorama, and it's a 16-foot long by 6 feet deep, and it's a diorama with a tree coming, and it's wrapping an existing column in the building. So the case goes around this column, and then there's a tree that goes around the column as well that's in my diorama. And there's a deer poking its head out, and there's birds and small mammals around. So it's
if we
big.
wanted to, Savannah has a drawing. I don't know if you could put it in front of the screen and just sort of show it.
Here's the diorama he's talking about.
Yeah, cool. And what we thought is later, it's really noisy out on the shop floor, so we're up here in kind of what I call Taylor Studios' attic. I actually love this place, even though I wish it was a little cleaner right now. But, we have all our storage of old molds that we've done. These are our mammoth tusks. Those were, we had a project with the International Wildlife Museum in Tucson, and we worked out a deal where we get to use the real thing, and then just plant molds that we used to vacuum form, and then those shelves keep going, and there's just really cool storage up here that sort of tells the story of Taylor Studios. So we came up here to the attic because it's a little quieter than where Steve works on a daily basis, but we thought later we'll go take pictures of that later today and post those so you can show show progress on what you're doing today.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Well, anything else you think you want to add and let people, Taylor Studios fans, know?
Happy belated Easter.
Happy belated in today's Earth Day.
Today's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, thanks for joining us between the fish. We saw these sitting up here, and come see us next time. Thanks for joining us.